Now, once again, themes, whenever we use them, can implement any framework, including your own custom framework. They're absolutely flexible. Any design can be implemented. You don't have to use Bootstrap, although we use that because it's just kind of a good standard. We have SAS, server-side compiling here. So you want to use SAS, that's fine. And it's all usually based around 4 files. HTML_head, template VTL, header VTL, footer VTL. That's it. You'll see the same thing in all 4 of these, the quest, the ski resort, the landing page. This one's just got a footer and a HTML_head, doesn't have a header, and it's just kind of built into the page creation there. The intranet page, once again, has footer, header, HTML_head, and template VTL. Now, in all of them, in the HTML_head, you'll see the same kind of info. Let's go and open up the quest that we've been working on. And you'll see that we are either getting, setting URL mapped page content and getting the page title, the crumb title, the page title. Else, if it's not a URL mapped page that has a virtual path to the page, then we're getting our page title equals .content .page content .title, .page content SEO description, page content SEO keywords, metadata, because .page content, if you look in our documentation, is the way that you get page properties, right? Page content, and here's our page content and velocity, and here's all of the different fields that are part of the basic or the advanced fields on any dotCMS page. Okay, and it gives you what's going to be the return off of getting those objects as well. So that's what we put into the HTML_head. And do any of the preloads, fonts, or you can load all your CSS here, and you'll also notice a .theme path, okay? And then once again, if you go to our documentation on themes, and you click here, it has a video there on installing a new theme, creating a new theme, and it talks about the main VTL files, which I'm already talking to you about, what they're for, and creating the template VTL, right? And the things that the template designer will expect of the template VTL to be set, like, is there a sidebar or not? And so these are the exact variables that are used to detect and find out what is being set in the template designer. The sidebar location, is it left or is it right? The sidebar percentage width, is it 20, 30, or 40? The main column.row. So if you inspect our default template VTL, which really normally you don't have to touch because it's going to be laying out the content, which you would do with containers, and your content that is formatted to those containers. And here you can see what the template VTL does. If there is a header checked, then .parse the HTML_head and the header VTL. If there's a footer, then include that file, right? .parse. So it's also a theme library, so you can go ahead and download themes as well, some starter kit themes of different frameworks. And to install this new theme, which I'm about to install, we're not going to touch the template VTL. It's going to be a complete copy. The header VTL is where we'd throw our navigation. So there's some things here which are kind of static links, either to the login page, or show or hide things based upon whether the user's logged in or not. And then whenever it comes down here to the Nav Tool, this is exactly what we covered during our View Tools discussion. right? I mean, it's literally a copy paste inside of the navigation. And then this is some automatic reordering buttons created. So you can go ahead and reorder things in the menu. And then our footer VTL here, mostly a lot of static links. And you can, if you ever want to do, I only want to show these things in edit mode. So you can say, if not edit mode or if not preview mode, then go ahead and show these things, but hide them in edit mode or preview mode, right? Google Analytics and grabbing keys from the host, host.Google Analytics, which we discussed before, loading some JavaScript, and you can either, load from the internet, or you'll see in the documentation that you can use a .theme path variable. Now that .theme path variable, if you look in our doc, here's our .theme path right here. It just refers to the exact placement of your theme. So all .theme path is going to automatically write for you /application, /themes, / whatever the name of your theme is, /. So then if you wanted to refer to a JavaScript file, JS file, then you would just do .theme path, JS, and then the name of whatever your, and then main.js, right? Or whatever you wanted to refer to. If you were using Sass, however, and there's some new documentation here, so then you're going to use a different extension at the end. Here we go. Instead of changing any of the, we used to have a /, capital SAS in the, before in the pathing, but then that was messing up some image references. So what we did was we went ahead and made sure that we could trigger that a certain file was a SAS file. We put our own extension. So even though you're uploading just a regular SAS file, whenever you call the SAS files, you'll do the path to the file, and then you'll put .sas, and then we know to server-side compile, reload that, minify it, and if it's a new hit, then cache it again. And here's all of the information that you need to know about how those SAS files are handled. But yes, it is server-side compiled, importing other files into SAS files, styling mix-ins, local paths, remote paths, flushing SAS. So there's all the information there you need in the doc that I am sending to you. Okay, let's install a new theme. Show the process. To show how quickly and easily it is, I would say it takes about 2 hours to get any, if someone's handing you not only design but the HTML, right? I found this one on just Bootstrap, website. I think it's bootstrap.com or something, or wrapbootstrap.com. So they've since actually taken it down, but you can see I just went and got this for maybe $16 or something like that, just to use during the trainings and show how easy it is to go ahead and get something up. And I went and bought it and downloaded it. But you see that basic design we're going to implement inside of dotCMS right now and show just how easy that is. Okay, so I've got the files that I downloaded here locally. So I'm going to training, and here's my completed theme build, and here's the raw files that I received whenever I did that. So I'm just going to step right into that directory. And then I wanted to implement the design for the index page first, but although the second I get the header and the footer in there, that's basically the entire site I can then create using the template builder and then just keep relaying out the center area, right? The center body. So if we look at what I downloaded, here is my text wrangler for the index page. And you'll see in just a second, all I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop the CSS, the fancy box, the fonts, the JS, less or SAS, whatever, it's using all those, and less is pretty much dead. SAS is taken over as standard. As a matter of fact, while we're explaining how to chop it up, I'm going to upload to this themes directory this folder. So I'm going to connect to server. Let me disconnect there, that web dev connection, and connect to server. And I'm going to go to localhost, but I want to do it in English. So I'm just web dev protocoling into this little local guy. So there I am, going into demo, application, themes, and I want a new one right here, right? So I'm going to go to while I'm discussing how I cut it up, I'm just going to start uploading training and Merovingio right here. And I'm just going to drag this right here. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and start his upload. Now I'm copying those 67 items, right? Okay, now let's bring this back and discuss. Okay, so the first thing I saw is I would have to load some CSS up at the top, define, HTML, metachar set UTF-8, set my my title here. All that goes right into anything in my head tags goes right into copy paste. But remember, what I would need to do is I would need to do the variable here dot theme path, right? That's going to give me my /application /themes /my theme name, and then the / before my CSS, and then my Bootstrap CSS. So that really is I'm done. I would need to do the same for all the rest of the CSS files being called, right? And done there. I'd maybe change that to HTTPS. And this is just some static links. Here's our header. And then right below the header, they actually throw the menu. So, I just instantly deleted this entire thing. And I just went ahead and put my my navigation macro in here, right? Just copy paste my navigation macro. For our metadata and everything up at the top of the page, I added my .page content and the SEO, metadata, etc., etc. All of the stuff inside the body tag, I just simply throw away. And then everything in the footer tag, I literally just copied and pasted and then made sure I changed all my paths to match my new path in the dotCMS, right? So none of my images would break or anything like that. But body is a complete throwaway. You're going to copy and paste some of that body information right into the content inside of that. But that's content. That's not the theme, right? So, so this is how I chopped up those 4 files. So you can look at them here, and they're already uploaded to the system. Okay. And we'll cover the template VTL last. So the footer, copy and paste. And I didn't change pretty much anything. I didn't make those links real. Is there any icons? You know, obviously a path to an icon or anything. I don't even think I did that. I think it's just pretty much copy paste and didn't touch a thing, right? The header, you can see that, you know, just loading the same static links. The only thing I did change this .theme path assets to my logo. And as long as I did, you know, upload my assets and my logo there, then it's there. And then here I'm just doing, you know, my navigation macro. And that's it for my header VTL, right? Here's my HTML underscore head. You can see very, very simple. Here's my metacharsa, UTF-8. It's kind of in there twice. That's not needed. It's not going to hurt anything though. And then my .page content SEO description, keywords, .page content SEO keywords, so that every page is just loading. My CSS gets loaded here, just .theme path CSS, right? My fonts, that should be HTTPS now. But you guys get the idea, right? Now the template VTL, I did not touch a thing. Just use the same one that Quest and all the rest use because it's Bootstrap. Now, if I didn't want to do that, then I would have to come in here and make some manipulations if I was using a different framework, but still the whole file is exposed for you here. All it's doing is inside of the head here, it's saying, you know, if the layout's responsive, then do this, else do, you know, render a different style sheet here, different CSS. If the .theme path HTML head is set in the template designer, then parse the HTML underscore head. Once again, if the header, then go ahead and parse the header VTL as well. And then it's just responding to all the presets inside of the template designer, right? Is it 975? Is it 100%? You know, responsive? And that's just laying out the rows and columns, testing for those sidebar location and settings. And if I wanted to change the way that these are laying out, use a different framework, don't want to use Bootstraps, then I would simply change these divs and leave everything else alone, right? To whatever new framework that, framework that I'm using. Then in the bottom of that template VTL, you notice an important parse post-process VL and a parse pre-process VL, and that's used by the template designer. So that's important not to take out of your template VTL, right? So really just my template designer and then the content that's placed on the page is being done the same way across multiple Bootstrap templates here. Okay, so what does this mean now that we have, if I open and close, now I've got this new Merovingio here. You can see the assets. Inside that assets directory, I should see logo in here. Yep, logo.jpg. What does that logo look like? Just Merovingio, that's it, nothing big. my CSS here, bootstrap min.css, my JavaScript files, right? My fancy box, fonts. And so now we can start creating our templates using this new theme. So I can come over here to the template designer, add a new template designer template. And I can say, Merovingio homepage. And if you remember, this had a big long container, maybe 2 pieces of content inside that long container, and then maybe a 25, 25, 25 down here. So that's exactly what I'll do with this new template designer template. Here's my Merovingio. It automatically gets picked up by the template designer because it's in the right spot. First one is 100%. That's fine. Maybe I'll add 2 containers here. I could add banner carousel. I could just make it large. I'll put my large column 1 there. And then maybe I'll add another row. So add row 25, 25, 25. I don't need that. Okay, and then I can just start making, default 2. And until you feel a need for actually making specialized containers, you can just make some good default containers that accept just generic content. I'll add my movie container over here as well, just for fun. Okay. All right. So I've got a brand new template. I can save and publish that template. Go over here to my training directory and make a new page immediately. New page. I'll call this page Merovingio Home. And then I'll just type in Mero. Here it finds my new template. And save and publish my page. And there I've got my header and my footer. And now the body is up to me, right? And there I've got my layout here. Now I can start actually literally copying the content that I downloaded with the theme if I wanted all that static content, and literally just place it right inside. So let's see that content from that home page. There's my index HTML. So what is in that Merovingio here? Multi-purpose theme. I'll search for multi-purpose. It's right above that, or right below that. Multi. There we go. So right below that is div class row. So I'm actually just going to grab that inside the div, and then the only thing that I would need to do if I was placing my content, this would be .theme path here on the source, right? Assets. Hopefully there is a Team1 JPEG there. And I don't see anything else. And then I can just go ahead and add. I could add generic content and just paste that in a WYSIWYG. Let's do that. Content generic. I'll go straight to code here. sample content, save and publish. And I've added my custom design there. Refresh my page. And am I doing my .theme path right? I should be getting an image, I think. .theme path, themes. Oh, .theme .path. Right. And so I'd have to grab that, paste that back in my content here. And then I could check and see if that image is really there. There we go. And then I could keep going, with all of my content, including my banner, and start placing everything on the page. I can instantly test whether my design is responsive. Now I've got, I added the training that we were doing and, this other Merovingio guy at the beginning. So it's getting a little crowded here. I could, tone down on how many things I'm throwing in my main header, but I can instantly get a preview here in Google, iPad, Pro. I can see, obviously, I've crowded my Google Pixel. Click on my menu and see if I'm being responsive or not, which I am. Here's a little training directory, about us, services. Okay. Then I can see how I'm laying things out. Obviously, if I went to preview mode, that'd be a little bit better. I've only got one little piece of content, but you can see it's already laying out. And let's just say, oh yeah, I forgot that in my design, I was supposed to have another piece of content here, or maybe I want another container somehow here in the middle. Remember, you can always click on layout and then adjust your complete layout. So let's say I want to add another container, and then I want that container to be over here. I want to drag these guys down, and I want to make this guy long, and then I want to reuse. Let's see. Whenever I'm zoomed in, this thing is always finicky on exactly where this is. There we go. Darn zoom. Okay, and so now I can save this, go back to my page, go back to content. Now I've got a new layout. So even though you're using the theme designer, you can step right back in and you can manipulate your design in any way you see fit, and start adjusting it and making changes. So very, very flexible, very, very easy to make new designs, implement new themes, and then give everyone the flexibility to start creating their own pages using the layout designer. And then you just start placing your content, and that is it, right? Yep, and now we already covered SAS or less on how you need to end that final, and that is different in 5.0. How you need to refer those SAS or less files. That is different than the 4.3.3 version. So I did cover that change, but that change is an important one. Okay, any questions about themes? Layout change, is that at the template level or the page level? Well, actually that is the layout is connected to the page. So I have not changed my template. So that's a great question. So if I look at go back to my Meravigio homepage, that has not changed at all, right? I have not done a single thing here. So that flexibility, now you have to give the ability to certain users. It's part of our, our site, permissions. So you decide whether you want people to be able to have access to do layouts. Maybe the majority of your users, you don't want that at all. But for some users, you may wish to do that, So depends upon your permissions. You give the ability to create new templates, new template layouts to whoever, and those are two different things, right? As a matter of fact, we're building our new version of dotCMS.com with one template, and the rest are template layouts. We don't have more than one template. We just keep reusing the same template on each page, and then we just start dragging and dropping the layout anywhere we wish, as we wish, on a page-by-page basis using the layouts, and the layouts match one-to-one with pages, right? The layouts only refer to that one page.